Last week I read from the Little Legends book with the women, and today I'm going to do one from the Exceptional Men in Black History. And today I am going to be reading to you about Chuck D. Chuck D, there's a picture. That's the illustration. Born Carlton Ridenhour, Chuck always had a booming voice. When he was growing up on Long Island near New York City, his parents enrolled him in a summer course run by former members of the Black Panther Party, a militant political group formed in the 1960s that encouraged Black pride. His parents wanted him to learn about his history and use his voice to uplift his people. But at that time, he was more interested in bossing around his younger siblings and practicing to be a sportscaster. When Chuck heard a new type of music from the Bronx called rap, he fell in love with it. It would be a while, though, before he combined his voice, his understanding of history, and this music. Chuck studied graphic design in college and created flyers for local hip hop shows while DJing with his friends at his school's radio station. When a producer wanted to sign him to Def Jam Records, Chuck thought he was too old, but his age, 26, meant he had a different perspective from the younger rappers coming up. Eventually, he was convinced and, with his radio show buddies, formed the group Public Enemy. Chuck saw rap as a way to talk about and influence the Black community. He called rap Black America's TV station. He rapped about racism, politics, culture, and the importance of unity and uplift. At first, Public Enemy had a hard time breaking out. Their lyrics were deemed too political to be played on the radio, at a time when you couldn't find success without radio play. But when popular director Spike Lee featured their song Fight the Power in his movie Do the Right Thing in 1989, their audience grew. In 2013, Public Enemy was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, one of only a handful of rap and hip-hop inductees. Chuck's intelligence and dedication to political and social change have made him a statesman for hip-hop. As both an activist and artist, or as he has called himself, a raptivist, Chuck and his booming voice will be heard for generations to come. So again, this is Chuck D, founder of the hip-hop group Public Enemy. He is an activist and a rapper. And that was your profile for today. How many of the parents out there know who Public Enemy is or Chuck D? Did you learn anything new about him that you didn't know? I did not know that he went to a school that was formed by the Black Panther Party. That was interesting. I'm going to read the profile of Prince. How many people out there know who Prince is? Prince was born in 1958 and he passed away in 2016. He was a musician and he had two musicians for parents. Prince Rogers Nelson grew up in Minneapolis, surrounded by music. He began playing piano and wrote his first song at age 7. Any 7-year-old songwriters out there? He eventually taught himself to play the guitar, bass, and drums. His parents' divorce when he was 12 years old shook up his home life. To make matters worse, he suffered from epilepsy and was teased at school for being so small. He was shy and insecure, but all of his troubles fell away when he focused on music. As a teen, Prince started his first band, Grand Central. To counteract his insecurities, he wore flashy clothes and was as loud, wild, and weird as possible when he performed. His music was a mix of funk, disco, rock, rhythm and blues, and gospel. No one had ever heard anything like him before, and producers fought to sign him to a record label. In 1979, he started a new band, The Revolution, whose members were black, white, male, and female. When they performed, they all dressed to impress. And sometimes the men wore clothes designed for women, and the women wore clothes designed for men. This made some people uncomfortable, but his fans were inspired to do what they wanted and be themselves no matter what others thought. Prince and the Revolution made some of the best-selling albums ever, including Parade in 1999, Purple Rain, the soundtrack to the movie Purple Rain starring Prince. In 1984, Prince became one of few artists with both a #1 album and #1 movie, and he even won both a Grammy and an Oscar. Prince liked to change things up all the time, and each change fueled his creativity. He made waves for his bold choices, and he is remembered as much for his flashy style and big personality as for the many songs he wrote. He always tried to help people in his community and even mentored up-and-coming artists. He was a virtuoso musician, composer, and vocalist who will go down in history as one of music's greats. Again, this is the illustration of Prince Nelson, Prince Rogers Nelson, very talented musician, played many, many instruments. Does anybody in the comments play any instrument or know how to play any instrument or ever had a band yourself or was in a band? I thank you all for joining and for learning about Chuck D and Prince. June is Black Music Month, so that is why I profiled two Black musicians. I hope that you all have a great Saturday, and I just want everybody to continue to tune into our Safer at Home virtual series. Next Friday, the Black Archives is partnering for a Juneteenth celebration. And if you look on our Instagram, you'll see all of the advertisements for that and for the Juneteenth celebration that'll be simulcast nationally and feature several different national organizations like the Black Archives and different Black museums throughout the country. So I hope you all have a great week. I'll see you next week, and we'll be back again on Monday with Is It True? Tales from the Magic City and our archivist, Jocelyn Hurtado. Have a great weekend, and thank you for joining.